let's have a look at your diagnostic results. And again, if you haven't got your report, now's a good time to find the floor and get down for the push-ups. Very happy for you to reach out to us if you want more information on your results and so on. Given this is a group that's come together from different organisations, the group result is interesting but not as relevant as if you were an intact team, if that makes sense. But it'll help at least to give you a bit of an overview of that. And so sitting behind this tool, this is our own proprietary diagnostic, is an evidence-based tool that has very high quality statistical markers, and it's evolved over the last 6 years, thereabouts. And in a way has been drawn from not only our own work and research, but also from considering other related tools at the individual levels. You can see, and this is more for the financial people, we break the tool into assets and liabilities just to make it, the balance sheet thing, balance sheet of resilience. And of course you want to maximise your assets and minimise your liabilities. So if we look at the top half of the model, you can see there's lots of green happening there, which is fantastic if that's where you're up to. But even I'd say at the spirit in action level, if you've got a yellow or a green, that's a really nice place to be. If you have got a red there, you would be asking the question, why is that the case? And am I in a place that is, not sustainable in terms of what's going on, in terms of meaning, purpose, and values and so on. Either way, if the roof of your house you would consider to be quite nice, as we can see there, as you go further down, you might notice that when we get to the middle of the model, it starts to become a little bit more questionable, particularly at the physical vitality level. And I don't know whether this, or energised body level, I don't know whether this, stands true for you. You've got a beautiful roof. Are the pillars of your house strong enough to carry that roof? Is perhaps one way to look at it. And maybe for some of you it might be to say, what am I doing at that energised body level to invest in self? Master Calm, Master Stress is quite a nice result. As I go further and further down, you can see there, again at the depression level and the distress level, are really happy to see that result. If you get a red result, particularly at the bottom 3 levels, absolutely at the bottom 2 levels, this is a signal to say, I need to be reaching out to professional on this. It's not a diagnosis of those 2 levels. However, you would do well to be having that conversation. If you've got a red result at any level, it really is a signal to say, what could I be doing differently to shift that out of red? The other thing to be aware of is down the bottom you'll see of your own reports, you'll also see this ratio, which is your resilience ratio, which is the assets to the liabilities. You want this thing to be above 2. As a group, you're sitting at 1.82. It's okay as a pre-intervention group. You didn't know you were that, did you? But you are. Pre-intervention group. You'd want that to be rising higher, particularly as leaders in organisations. But you will see in your organisations, people come in at less than 1-to-1. Again, a red flag for that person needing support. But you can see the numbers there that sit on your page around how that scaling can work. For those that do have your reports, or for those that do the report afterwards, you'll notice you not only have that page for yourself, but on the subsequent pages, it then breaks down each of the assets and each of the liabilities into their 5 or 6 factors. So then you can get a better view of, well, in confusion, did I get a red result in confusion because I'm overloaded or because I live with intensity, or both? And so you can get a better view on where to go, and also what you can do to change and read about improvements. So perhaps I'll say just reiterate, when you do this as an intact team, what you get is a really rich picture of where the team is up to. But even better than that, you measure it every 3 months and you get to start to see trend lines when you're going through change, and what can you be doing to intervene to sustain that high performance, particularly during that cycle.
So Stuart, what sort of shifts can you see there? You said about 2 is where you'd like to start to get above. What sort of shifts can you see in the right interventions and development?
Look, I'd answer that in 2 ways. At an individual level, you'll see, interestingly, those that are above 2 will make often, I'm talking in generalities, will make often minor changes and keep creeping themselves up the model. You'll often find, we often find, particular individuals that might be sitting at 0.9 to 1 and take this as a wake-up call, and next time they come back they're sitting closer to 3 to 1. And it's a bit like the comment before around, in terms of going down the spiral, how it's a two-way journey. There's no question that with concerted, disciplined interventions, you can actually build this thing reasonably quickly to get yourself to a level of stability, even 2 to 1, to then take it on. But it's a bit like the experience that I went through in terms of the cancer journey. Before that, I was living the standard corporate lifestyle of, hurly-burly, exercise whenever I could-ish, eat whatever, and so on and so forth, stress. Actually, I changed pretty quickly, not because I saw a 0.9 to 1, there was another thing that I was looking at the time that made me change. But you can change this stuff relatively quickly with concerted effort, and we see that all the time. At the end of the day, the key is motivation. Are you motivated, and is this sort of thing enough motivation to say, it's time for me to have another look at this thing? Yes, please.
So I'm leading a strong team, and
Yes.
we're about to go into major change.
Right.
So, and I think they're a really talented group, and I want to make sure that they stay resilient through this, because I think they're going to be
Yeah.
the leaders going into the next phase.
Great.
When should I bring in a tool like this to make sure my team does it before the major change,
Yeah.
during, after, or?
You want to get a baseline, no question about that. And don't think this is only about taking the 0.9 to 1 person and getting them above 1 and above 2. This stuff is also about the good to great type idea as well. So you've got a strong team, they're going through change. Interestingly, if you are already above 2 to 1, or even better, above 3 to 1, when you do go through change, it's you find it much easier to hold that level because you are responding to your world in a resilient way anyway. Does that make sense? And so monitoring how that holds or doesn't hold is really what you're trying to do there. And the others, some will thrive, others you will see the decline during that change, which helps direct the intervention as well, and support and coach that person or that group. Yeah. Any other comments or questions?
You mentioned it, I think it's important to echo to reach out for support when you find yourself at this point. You don't have to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
Reaching out for a trusted touch point for support is really important, because it does happen to everybody across the spectrum of their career.
Yeah, I think that's right. And so reaching out for support is absolutely fundamental, and the demystifying or the destigmatising of that's occurred over the last 5 years or so, Beyond Blue and so on, I think is sensational. I think the changing role of the leader is to increasingly build competence in being able to coach on this stuff. I don't mean depression. I mean, that is about referring over to EAP type offerings, but there's a whole bunch of stuff between really happy and really sad that a leader can be helping to keep an individual and a team on target with. And so, are you happy to talk to your team about how's your sleep going? These sorts of conversations will be the make or break of whether you operate up here or down here. No doubt about that. Any other comments?
The problem is that leaders aren't trained to do that. They
Indeed.
get into their role because of technical expertise, and many of them may also be uncomfortable.
Indeed. So it is a new world, and what I'm saying is when we talk about the sustainable high performance organisations, that's where they're going, to actually be training their leaders to get comfortable with that, to training their staff to be accepting that. But again, the key ingredient is trust. Unless you've got trust in place, who's going to share?